Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Jeff Cordero, and you're tuning in for another arrow building video today. I don't know, I like to build different things and try them out, and that's why I'm doing it. And I figure every time I'm going to do it, I'm going to share it with you guys because you guys like this kind of stuff. And I mean, hell, I search for this stuff on YouTube to find out what other people are building, how they're building it, the components they're using. So if this video helps you out, hit that like button down below, let me know, and I'll continue to make more of these. So first things first, we're going to calculate out what this arrow is going to weigh. I have an idea of what it's going to weigh, but let's weigh one of my old ones. So this is the arrow I'm currently hunting with. It is a Sirius Apollo, but this arrow, we'll weigh it out one more time. I made a video on how I built these arrows and all the specs on these, and I'll link it up above here. So if you guys want to check that arrow building video out, it'll be right here. But total weight is, let's get it off of the 518.5 grains. So for me, shooting out of my Rx4 Ultra at 29 3/4 inch draw length at 70 pounds, I really like these. I like the weight. The weight is good. It keeps my feet per second still up in the upper 270s. I want to stay between 270 280. That gives me enough room on my sight tape where when I do go out west, or even if I'm in North Carolina here, if I have to judge yardages, I don't have to be, I have to be close, but I don't have to be dead on. There is enough pin gap where I have to be right, but no, whatever. You get the point. So these shafts are Black Eagle X impacts. They are 250 spine. They are a .001 straightness. I believe that's the only straightness they make these in for the X impacts. They are a 4mm shaft. They are 9.5 grains per inch, if I remember correctly. So this shaft right here is cut 28.5 carbon to carbon. That gives me enough clearance for my rest when I pull back for the components I'm going to use, because I am going to use a footer. It does hang over. I don't have any contact with anything, and that is the length of shaft that I like to run, and I know it should spine out correctly. So we're going to tear the scale. The carbon shaft weighs 280 grains on the dot with a nock. I'm going to be using, I've never used these before. These are the TAC Drivers 2.25 inch vanes. The weight for these TAC vanes is 5.2. So if I'm going to use 4 of these, that would be 20.8. For the inserts I'm going to use, this is the F.O.C.O.S system for X impact for these 250 spine. I don't know what F.O.C.O.S stands for, but I kind of wanted to try these out. They do have something really cool about them, and I'm going to show you right here. This whole assembly, which comes with an insert that goes into the shaft, and this is actually a complete outsert. This goes in the shaft. You assemble this on top of it, and then it gives you this cap head bolt to drop it in here and bolt it all down and affix it to the shaft. So one reason why I do want to try this system is because when you insert this into the shaft and then you put this on top of it, before you lock this down, you can screw your broadhead into it and clock it with your fletchings in the back if that's something you want to do, or have all of your broadheads clocked the same way. It gives you options, and then you just tighten it down. For me personally, when I go to tighten these down with broadheads, I'm going to use some blue Loctite on the cap head bolt. Whether Black Eagle recommends that or not, that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want them to come undone. So without further ado, let's start putting these together. I've already got these shafts cut at 28.5 inches. I stopped by the archery shop on the way home and just had them lop them off for me. The weight on this, the F.O.C.O.S system, that's 100 grains. This whole system, this is the stainless steel version. They do make an aluminum version. The stainless steel version is 100 grains. I wanted to get some of the 80 grain aluminum ones, but they were out of stock, so 100 grain is what it is. The shaft weight is 280 grains. The fletching weight is going to be 20.8 plus 100 grain of insert weight plus 100 grain of field point weight. that will bring me out to 501 grains. So that keeps me right in that 500 grain ballpark that I like personally. I feel like it is heavy enough of an arrow where it is going to penetrate and blow through and have enough momentum and kinetic energy to get through what I want to get through. And it is also light enough. It's going to keep that 270 to 280 feet per second range that I'm shooting for my arrow speed. Let's go ahead and start assembling this stuff together. First things first, I'm going to pull all the nocks out of these. I like to square up. The most important, if you're going to square one side of these up, I believe the most important side is the nock side. That is the part that is going to be getting all the pressure from the bowstring to push the arrow downrange. If you have any bit of angle to that, you're not going to get even pressure on the shaft. And I don't know if it's going to create tuning issues, but it just seems important, and that's why I do it. So pull all these nocks out. And now I'm just going to take this G5 arrow squaring device and just go ahead and put these in here, give them a quick on both sides, just make sure they're flat. Next step in this process, after you have these cut and squared, I take, this is 70% alcohol, I put a little in the cap, take some Q-tips, just get it a little wet, and whichever side you're going to be gluing your insert in, I try to get the Q-tip in there with this alcohol and just kind of swab it out and get any of the dust and debris that's in there. It just makes for a better adhesion of your glue with the insert, so that way you don't lose your inserts. At this point, now that you have all your shafts prepped, they're cut, they are squared up, you can either start fletching the backs of them, or you can glue your inserts in. I've always had good luck with this boning cool melt. I've used this in just about every arrow shaft that I've had, between Gold Tips, Easton's, the Sirius, and I haven't really had a problem with it. Let's make fire. I think what a lot of people do wrong when they use cool melt is they heat up the insert itself and the glue and then try to smear it on there. I take this boning cool melt, I heat it up over the flame, just get it a little where it's like kind of glossy, and I'll rub it on the insert here, trying to get a little bit in all the grooves. And as I insert it into the shaft, I'm going to spin the whole thing as I go in to evenly distribute the glue as it rotates into the shaft, into all the grooves, and up onto the shaft itself. So, nice little heat. Just get a little bit on here. Now that it's on there, just give it a little heat again, make sure it's hot enough. And as I go, I am going to spin the whole way. I am inserting this, get right about to the end, push it on the table, dump it in your water. Don't put this down on your table. It will glue it to your table. It's not the first time I've glued this thing down. With this little bit, you're gonna have like a little donut on the end. I just push on my thumb, pry it up, flies off, remove the cap head bolt, and continue on to the next. So before we start fletching these, we're gonna have to clean the back half of the shaft. Again, just make for the same thing we did on the inside for the insert. We just gonna make a very nice clean surface for the glue to adhere to. You can use alcohol again, you can use what you want. I have these AAE Max wipes. They work really well. I've had no problems with them. They kind of come in this nice little convenient pouch. I'll just go ahead and wipe all of these shafts down. Glue I like to use is, again, this AAE Max Bond glue. I've had no problems using this glue. But you can take your glue and just nice and get a little bit on there. I'll run a bead down the center, and then I'll come back and just kind of spread it out over the whole edge of this vein. Put it here in my clamp. Bottom it out at the bottom. And then just roll the clamp onto the shaft. Let go. 15 seconds. Pull it off. Rotate it 90 degrees. Do another one. You get the process. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward while I do this because you guys don't want to watch me put fletchings on for 30 minutes. Another thing that I like to do now that I have these all glued on here is this is tipping and tailing. I picked this up from a John Dudley video, but you're going to just put a little dab of glue on the back here on all these shafts or on all of the fletchings. And you're going to do the same for the front. And this just keeps that edge glued down. And this is the part, in my experience, these are the parts that peel up the first, whether you auger one really deep into a target or you're going through something. It's the part of the fletching that can grab that's going to pull it off. And if you can just keep that front part glued down, I've always had really good success with it. But that's one. We're going to go ahead and glue up 6 more. All right, now that we got one of these completely fletched up, it is tipped and tailed. It is ready to go. I'm going to show you guys how this insert system works. I'm going to take this stainless steel Outsert, drop this cap head bolt down in there, take the shaft, slide this on all the way. I guess just tighten it up, right? Oh yeah. Okay. So I just cracked it loose. I can swivel. Let me get a broadhead. If you guys watch this broadhead video where I decided to shoot these fixed blades broadheads, again, I'll link that video right up here. I shot my North Carolina buck this year with one of these. It was a double lung. That thing absolutely blew through both sides with this 518 grain arrow. Screw this into this. And I haven't tightened down this cap head bolt, so as you can see, I can spin it. If I can get the nock level and then get those level as well, I can then take ideally a silver Sharpie, but I only have a pencil. And I can mark this. I can unscrew my broadhead, take my Allen, line my 2 lines back up, tighten her down. That's tight. Like I said, the ones I'm going to take hunting with me for this late deer season, I'm going to put a little Loctite, but for broadhead tuning purposes, going outside, I'm just going to cinch it down in there. I can screw my broadhead back on. Let's get a total weight on this. Fully assembled, ready to hunt, 501 grain on the dot. For me, this is perfect. 501 grains will keep me in that 275, 280 feet per second range, which gives me a good pin gap where if I have to guess yardage, at least within a few, I'll be very close. And it is a heavy enough arrow and enough F.O.C. that it's going to have great kinetic energy and it's going to be able to blow through whatever I need it to blow through. And I think this thing is going to be an absolute killer come urban archery season for me. So if you guys like this video, please hit that subscribe button down below. I will continue to post things like this. Any little bit of tinkering I do and any little bit of experiment I do with different fletchings, broadheads, bows, anything that I got going on, I'm always going to film and put it here in the video. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. Until the next video, guys, I'm Jeff Cordero. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.